here. I want to thank Mayor Haas, the board, Sue, Amber, Dicky, and everybody for giving us the opportunity tonight. As most of you know, my name is Dale Dunn, and myself and St. Charles Insurance, we have had the privilege of insuring the city of Peabody since 2005. And we've handled the workers' compensation, all of the liability, and the property insurance for the last 11 years, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I also want to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity during your business on the health and benefits side. That's obviously why we're here this evening, and we have a very accomplished team that I feel can make the transition to our firm a quick, easy, and seamless one. So I want to introduce a couple of the people that will make that happen. Jerry Hollingsworth, he's the department manager, and Beth Bellman, the benefits account manager.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Board of Aldermen. Good to see you again. It's a pleasure to be here. Like Dale has said, we've appreciated your business for many years. I understand the pain that you guys are going through dealing with health insurance. I know you try to provide a great level of benefits for your employees, but at the same time try to fit that into what I know is always a tight municipal budget. And I know that because I've been a member of the St. Peter's Board of Aldermen for 24 years. And I've worked closely with 2 different city administrators, 2 different mayors, actually 3 mayors, one of them got to go to prison, and the HR director to help guide them towards purchasing the right type of products for our employees. I can't be the broker on it, we all know that's a conflict of interest, but we just voted our new benefits package in last Thursday night for the 16-17 budget. We were able to keep the plan that we had. They came to us with a 7% rate increase. We knocked it down and got 15% off the existing. I'm not going to stand here and tell you I can do that. That's next to impossible. But we've forged a great relationship with the carriers that we deal with. We have a good reputation with the carriers, and we think that we would be a good agency and a good fit for you folks to help you monitor and get through what is becoming an increasingly tight market, and a market that is beset with rules and regulations that you as a municipality, and I know your city attorneys there, and you'll shake your head yes, you have to stay compliant with the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. And there are no exceptions anymore. The IRS has hired 17,000 new agents, and those agents aren't looking at your tax records, they're looking at how you deal with health insurance with your employees. We would like to be the agency to help you with that. We think Beth is here. As Dale mentioned, she's got over 20 years experience in administering health plans for small businesses the size of the city of St. Peter's, and not St. Peter's, St. Peter's a little bit larger, but the size of St. Peabody and other cities. We think we'd be a good fit for you. We think we'd be a great HR resource for you. We have a great reputation with the carriers, and we think we can save you some money. This time I'd like to introduce to you Brad Greer, who's the managing partner of the agency, and thank you again for your time.
Good evening, and thank you for your time tonight. I'm just here as a representative of the firm to express a little bit of how we stand behind our producers like Dale, who's the local representation. We also have a fully orbed benefits department, which is run by Jerry, and he's already talked about some of his experience. As an agency, we have, along with our sister agency, we have 4 agencies, 4 locations, 160 employees. So we represent all the major carriers. We have a number of resources from technology to legal. We're also part of a national firm that gives us more buying power and also gives us the technical abilities to stand behind our local people and deliver the products that you need. So we thank you for the opportunity and for the time this evening.
just wanted to tell you the reason why I'm here today is on last year on 3 separate occasions, I had city employees who call me. I am local, I live in Arnold, I go to church in Herculaneum, so I mix with a lot of the city employees. On 3 separate occasions, they contacted me asking me for help with their benefits because apparently you guys had some turmoil. That was their feelings over the past year. I consulted with those 3 people, helped them out the best I could, but as you know, if you're not the agent of record, there's not much you can do. But I did give them some advice. And then when the public bid notice that you guys had in the paper came out, one of the employees that contacted me, their spouse, called me up. And she asked me to put in a bid to be the broker of record for you guys. So I know the city employees, some of them, they've asked me to put in a bid. I think that carries a lot of weight. I met Amber at a meeting recently. I also received a bid package in the mail from Amber just saying that there was a notice. So I got 2 separate notices from 2 different people on this opportunity. We offer services for the city both based on cost control, compliance, and employee education and retention. As far as cost control, there's really not a lot you can do with anything as a whole. But if you break the plan down into its parts, administration, claims, provider network, and pharmacy, then we might be able to look at controlling the cost a little bit better. And that's what we specialize in doing if you guys want to go that route. As far as compliance, we would only recommend and we would only price a plan that was ACA compliant. There's no reason to do anything else. And as far as employee education, we'd be willing to sit down with each one of your employees on an individual level if that's what it takes. They can invite their spouses, if their spouses are on the plan, and we can go through the plan with me and my partners. We'll help them out, answer any of their questions. We'll do it in a group or we'll do it privately. Frequently we found when we have a group, some employees don't want to discuss their specific medical needs in front of other people, so we make ourselves available for private meetings. We also offer something called a worksite benefit, which is where one of your employees might be able to purchase additional coverage that they pay for themselves out of their own pockets. It wouldn't cost the city any additional money, and in most cases it actually saves the city some money. One of the services that we offer for your city employees, it's interesting because when we first got into this business, we just started bidding group plans. What we found out is you get into these employees' lives. When their kids turn 26, they come to you for a health insurance policy for their child, because they're no longer on the group plan. When they have parents or when they themselves are 65, they'll approach us and ask us about Medicare. So whatever broker you guys decide to go with, it didn't affect your employees' lives beyond this group plan. We only sell health insurance and health insurance related products. We don't sell any P&C. We specialize, it's a niche, takes a lot of time and effort. Right? We don't mix up the P&C side of benefits. So we would just be concentrating in health insurance. I used to think that maybe we weren't a big enough fish to bid projects like this, but we recently had somebody come into our office. This woman was paying $1,500 a month for her health insurance, and she was with the biggest brokerage in the St. Louis area. Within 10 minutes, we found her a plan that was roughly $500. We saved her $1,000 a month, and she was with one of the biggest health insurance firms here in St. Louis. Once that happened, I wasn't concerned about anybody being bigger than us, because it doesn't matter. You gotta know the employee, you gotta know the person on an individual level, and that's what we do. I have 2 partners, they're both here today, Kim and Nathan, and we have 1 associate producer, his name's Randall Childers. I think our experience would be tough to match, quite frankly. Our associate producer, Randall Childers, actually wrote the book on health insurance. You guys are welcome to buy it on Amazon.com, $20. Or if you select us as your broker, I'll get you an autographed copy. It's really boring, I gotta be honest, but it is impressive. We do have references of other municipal groups that we have as part of our group. We do not let those out as a matter of any public record. All of our client list is protected. I did give Amber some references. You guys are welcome to look at them, but I need your word that they'll never become part of any public record because our client list is proprietary. Finally, in closing, I would just like to say that we can do everything that every other firm can do as far as the bids, the crunching the numbers, the spreadsheets, the technology. We can do it all. One interesting thing that we do that maybe other people don't do is we give you guys a dedicated 800 number. So if you guys took out your cell phones and dialed 505 Peabody 1, my cell phone would ring, and so would the cell phones of my two partners in the back of the room. So if you guys want to try a little joke, one of you pick out your phones and dial the number and see if you can hear those phones ringing in the back. And I don't live very far away, so I can be here at a moment's notice. Did you all have any questions for me?
So at this time, anybody?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Lakeland Insurance Service Benefits.
Good to see you. A little bit.
Please,
Could be.
Second degree burn, if you feel 2 layers of skin. Well, I did, I had a second degree burn.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get this started back up again. We're gonna go ahead and start with Lakeman Insurance Bonus Benefits.
First up, my name is Tom Murphy, managing partner and owner of Sonus Benefits. With me is Nick Graham and Brad Coker with Lakeman Insurance. Not sure the format or how you want to move forward. We can certainly, you've got the proposal in front of you in the bid, the RFP, the response to that. If you want to just talk about our firm or whatever, it's up to you.
Sure, if you would like to go ahead and let us know
Sorry.
give us some information and background on your company.
Sure.
And basically what we're doing is we're just hearing your
Our steel. Fantastic. Well, I'll let Lakeman Insurance and Sonus is a partnership. Sonus Benefits, my background is 30 plus years in the employee benefit business, so this is what we do and all we do. Our friends at Lakeman are property casualty primarily, benefits operation, but all the benefits for Lakeman flow through us, all of our property casualty flow through Lakeman. Lakeman's been around since 1938. St. Genevieve is their main offices in St. Louis, Festus, Farmington, Perryville, you know better than I do. In St. Louis, we have offices in Cape Girardeau as well as in St. Louis and Poplar Bluff. We work with employers of all sizes, 2 to over 2,000, both public and private. Represent benefits for over 400 employers throughout the metropolitan area. We really see our goal in this is beyond just the strategic side of the benefits, but really to be, the resource for you. So the educational resource, whatever it is that we can help to simplify this process for you and be there from a compliance perspective, from a education perspective. We've really built our firm around helping employers of all sizes to deliver whatever that need is that they might have. So.
Questions, comments? We're like rolling through these. Basically, what is going to happen is Dickie and Amber are going to go through all the bids, and they will get together a listing of what they think with each company, and then they will present them to the board, and we'll go through them from there. So that's basically how we're going to handle it.
That's it.
That's it. Tonight was only just a listing of presentations from each
Okay.
company, if they had something they wanted to show out, any references they wanted to acknowledge, or anything like that. That's basically what it is.
We certainly included references with inside the proposal
Okay.
of City of Farmington, City of Perryville, Perry County, close by. We also are part of a founding member of our organization that we have 75 partnerships around the country. We probably insure over 250 municipalities, probably close to 80, 90,000 lives. So just tremendous resources that we would have available to the city and people. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, last one we have is Siggin-Bottom. Bottom? No, we're not.
Yeah, you. Yeah, right. You're late.
I'm just gonna wait. Craziness. Do any of you guys have anything that you talk about? It is your workshop, are there any things that you guys can discuss? If there's anything that you saw, wanted to talk about, anything that we talked about from the last meeting, you have the option, ability, time to talk. No? He's not here?
I'll fetch it.
Oh, okay, yes.
He's here. Spell check.
Hello, Mr. McCarty, how are you? Good, all right. You're up.
I'm up. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm John McCarty. I'm from Farmington. I won the city's benefits in 2008. It's been with you guys for a while. The reason that my background prior to employee benefits is engineering. So I'm a consultant by trade. That's what I've been doing for 20 years now. Been in employee benefits for 12. Got tired of traveling, so I made the career switch so I could be home every night. So my background is consulting, and that's actually why I won the benefits. For those of you who don't know the history, the city was on a very continual increasing premiums. Every year the premiums were going up and the benefits were decreasing. That was right from Happy Welch's mouth. So he brought me in and trying to figure out a way to stay in budget. So initially in 2008, I came in with some crazy ideas, and honestly, I thought I had no chance. I mean, for the most part, rates are rates, right? It's what you do outside the box that really gives you a chance to either win or lose. And so I came in with some really oddball plan designs, and some strategies to try and bring the city back in line with where you were, where you needed to be. So we did that. We started off with some tweaks and went with a company that typically you guys hadn't looked at, nobody else brought to the table. Not loyal to any one carrier, so I worked independent for a long time and did that. And things went well. We've dropped you guys from a $2,000 deductible to a $250 deductible over 7 years. We've maintained about a 3.5% increase on average. That's what it's worked out to be while doing that. So we've actually improved the benefits. In the same case, we've held a pretty reasonable increase. Now, I would prefer to see it flat. But when you're increasing the benefits, it's hard to do that. To be real honest, it's hard to buy a Cadillac for the same price as a Chevy, right? So that's kind of where we're at. We've been increasing the benefits and maintaining a fair renewal price. So in the last few years, I was looking for a home for my agency. So I ended up merging this last year with a big firm out of Texas named Higginbotham. And the reason for that is, you guys know, healthcare reform is a monster to deal with. And as an agency, I was dealing with a lot of counties and cities all over. You guys know my background. You didn't know Higginbotham's though. So the reason for merging with Higginbotham is they have internal positions. They have internal underwriters. They bring a lot to the table that me as just an insurance consultant couldn't bring to the table. I couldn't sit down and say, okay, well this employee XYZ has a claim. Why are the rates going up? Or can we medically underwrite that out? What's going on here? So dig in deeper than what the average insurance agent is going to be able to do. So again, the benefit is Higginbotham has these on-staff positions, underwriters. They have on-staff wellness team. Prior to merging with them, we were limited to what we could come up with ourselves and what the companies offered. And you guys are in the small group realm, so there's less available to you typically from most carrier side than there is in large group. It's just the way it works out. So with Higginbotham, they actually have people they've hired over from NASA to do the wellness programs. So I felt like it brought a lot of value add to my block of business, and that's why I merged them last year. So kind of got all this started, and you're all here probably because of me, because I've been bugging everybody to look at the options, and for transparency purposes, I know it's important that we do this from time to time. So I apologize first of all. But I really think it's important that you look at the history that what we've done for you guys, and hopefully we can continue to do a better job even than what we've done in the past. And I personally think it's pretty above par. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Right, John, we appreciate you coming in this evening. To the other gentlemen, we will be having Dickie and Amber go through everything, and presenting the packages to us, and then we'll go from there.
Great, thank you guys.
Thank you, appreciate it. Last but not least. All right, American Water Works presentation. Bradley Brown. Thank you all for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Haas and Honorable Alderman. My name is Bradley Brown. I'm the Manager of Government Affairs for Missouri American Water Company. Thank you for making the time for us this evening to introduce you to American Water and to enlighten you to a resource that may help the parking infrastructure cornerstone to the future of the city. Personally, I'm very familiar with the area and I've lived in the St. Louis County area my entire life. I have relatives living right up the street in Arnold. We also, as a company, provide water service to District 1 in Arnold, District 3 in Fenton, District 10 in Imperial Kingswood, and C1 in Barnhart. I've had the privilege of meeting a few of you, and I've had the privilege of developing a relationship with Alderman Marcus through the Jefferson County Economic Development Corporation. And we've had some conversations regarding the recent acquisition of the Arnold wastewater system right up the street. And we were talking about some of the benefits that people might obtain and their employees might obtain if a similar deal were to occur. So we're just here to give you some helpful information, and we're here as a resource for you anytime you need us. With me, I have our Vice President of Missouri Operations, Mr. Andrew Clarkson. Andrew is no stranger to Missouri American Water as well. He's lived in our state for a long, long time and worked for our company for 30 years in many, many different capacities. I also have with me Ms. Cindy Evenstrite. She is our Senior Director of Operations in the St. Louis County area, and she too has worked with Missouri American Water for quite a few years, at 27 to be exact. And should our relationship achieve levels that would require our services in any capacity, Cindy will be your main point of contact. Again, we're delighted to be here this evening and to introduce ourselves, and we sincerely want to make ourselves available to the city repeatedly in any capacity moving forward. So with that, I'll ask Andrew Clarkson to come up and speak to you a little bit.
Thanks for your time. Again, my name is Andrew Clarkson, Vice President of Operations for Missouri American. So I'm just going to give you a little overview about American Water, then we're going to go into Missouri American Water a little bit, and then we'll move it over to Cindy and let her give us a little bit more detail. So American Water operates 81 surface treatment plants, the largest of which in our country, in our system, is in St. Louis County. We have over 1,000 wells. I know that your system is a well system, so we have a lot of familiarity with operating well systems. We operate in 1,600 communities, and we have about 6,700 employees, 650 of which are in Missouri, most of which are in the St. Louis County area. 48,000 miles of pipe. There's about 5,000 miles of pipe, most of it in the St. Louis County area, and roughly 370,000 customers in our state. American Water is the largest privately owned or investor-owned water utility in the country, and it is traded under AWK on the New York Stock Exchange, if anybody would like to look that up. So we've been in Missouri for over 100 years. It has grown dramatically over a period of time, and most recently when the St. Louis County water system was purchased in 1999. We do provide water to about 1.5 million people in Missouri, and from larger areas, St. Louis, all the way down to Brunswick, which I think has 300 customers. So it's a wide variety of communities that we serve. We are regulated by the Missouri Public Service Commission and the Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. EPA. Just a little bit about environmental leadership. I won't read all these to you. We are ranked in Newsweek's 2016 top 500 green companies, the only water company in the top 500. I'll skip down a few bullet points. 13 times better than the industry average for meeting drinking water requirements, in that we don't have notices of violations. We are 13 times better than the rest of the industry as far as our ability to deliver high quality water. And conduct over 1 million tests of one variety or another both water. We are in the wastewater business as well, with primarily water, but we do wastewater systems as well, as Bradley indicated here, our own system and stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you shut the doors? We don't want to hear the outside.
Go ahead, sorry.
A little bit about the just the industry in general. The American Water Works Association, which is the national recognized association, nonprofit association that deals with water issues, has estimated about $1 trillion needed in the next 25 years to update water and wastewater systems. A lot of that's just piping, which is something very familiar to us in St. Louis County. There's more and more breaks, and a lot of that just is the pipes are worn out, and also just general upkeep of the water and wastewater system, the plants. We do average about $100 million a year in capital investment in Missouri, and part of that is to balance the critical need of the system upgrades and how it's going to affect rates. So there's a constant battle between how we do the right things, invest now, and avoid big issues in the future. We are a founder of the Metro Water Infrastructure Partnership, which is basically an organization that promotes utility industry issues, water and gas and electric. The last slide for me. So in 2015, we actually did $150 million worth of capital improvements. Most of it's pipeline. Again, we have roughly 2,600 to 2,700 main breaks a year, and we feel like it's prudent to invest in replacing the pipe, particularly where it's frequently breaking, and so it helps our customer satisfaction. We do become a taxpayer, where in the communities where we serve, we pay roughly $13 million in Missouri property taxes. We do provide firefighting grants and for training. We also, and in general, we are a big corporate citizen. We are sponsoring the Missouri River 340-mile race that's later on this summer. We are very active in doing other community affairs, volunteer programs across the state where we serve. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Cindy. Cindy would be your local contact that if you have issues or somebody you needed to talk to, Cindy would be your primary contact. So Cindy.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Gibbons-Strite. I'm the director of the St. Louis District, and that includes the water production and water distribution operations for our St. Louis County, as well as our Jefferson County wastewater operations, and that would be our Arnold collection system and our Cedar Hill plant, and then our smaller Merrimack plant, which is outside of Fenton. So our greatest strength is our employees. We do have over 600 employees in Missouri, and here in St. Louis County, in our district here, there's over 400 employees. Most of those employees are members of the Local 335 Utility Workers of America Union in Arnold, and we have 5 employees, and then in Merrimack and Cedar Hill, we have an additional 2 operators, and that's a non-union facility. So those are employees that lay mains, they fix main breaks, we manage the restoration activities, we have operators that are certified in our production treatment plants, customer service workers, and meter readers. And one thing I wanted to mention is that safety is a huge priority for us in our company, and we want to make sure we do everything possible to ensure that our employees are working very safely. So we do a lot of training of our employees for traffic control, those employees that are on the roadways, confined space, and trenching and shoring. Another part of the training we do is for our operators, and to ensure that they maintain their operator certification, we do work with DNR, and we provide certified training classes that we, provide them the opportunity to get the hours to maintain their certification. Customer satisfaction is extremely important to us, and we do everything we can to ensure our customers get the answers that they need and are satisfied with the service. We do a quarterly survey, customer satisfaction survey, and we take a look at that and find out ways that we can improve our customer satisfaction. And over the years, we consistently score over 90% by constantly learning and trying to make customer satisfaction better. The average years of service for a Missouri American employee is 15 years, and that includes employees that are close to 40 years of service, and then new employees that have just a few months of service with us. So we rely on the expertise and the knowledge of our employees, and they are the ones that have the understanding of the system, the history, they know how to troubleshoot, and they're basically the face of the community for our company. So when we look at new systems, we like to take on employees from that system because just for the reasons I mentioned above. And if you would like down the road, we do have a supervisor with our Arnold system who would be happy to come and speak to you about his experience with American Water when we acquired Arnold. There are also career opportunities within our company. We operate in many states, so if someone wants to work in a different state, move someplace else, or if they want to work in a different department, or advance in a career and become a supervisor, those opportunities are all available. And we do offer an employee assistance program, which educational assistance program, which allows our employees to go to college and or to take whatever classes they like, gain degrees, and move on in their career if they so choose. Due to the size of the company, we can experience a lot of cost efficiencies and economies of scale. So we have national purchasing power. We have a group of supply chain or procurement employees that negotiate with our vendors and get discounts, pricing discounts for things like hydrants and meters. We can purchase those for about 50% of the cost due to those contracts. Anything like chemicals and pipe and even fleet vehicles, we can also experience pricing discounts on that and a savings there. Addressing regulations is extremely important for us. We pride ourselves on an excellent compliance record with environmental regulations. So we have actually a team of people in our water quality and environmental department that they solely look at the regulations and work with DNR in Jefferson City and develop those relationships so that we're always on top of it and that we can implement and do capital investments where necessary to meet new regulations, which of course we're always getting more stringent. And the same thing holds true for the federal EPA. We have a group of employees at our corporate level that go to Washington, D.C. They work with EPA in the same manner as far as working on future regulations and being prepared for what's coming down the road. So our operations are run by local employees, many that do live in the communities that we serve. We do have 2 call centers. One is in Alton, Illinois, and one's in Pensacola, Florida. So they are set up with geographic groups. So a customer from Missouri would be routed, their call would be routed to that geographic group from Missouri. And those employees, those call center reps have more training on the districts and the operations in Missouri. So that again is to improve customer satisfaction. And as was mentioned, for city leaders, I am always the point of contact if there's any call that needs to come my way or any issues that need to be resolved. Another thing I wanted to mention are the resources that we have to assist in the event of catastrophes, and we've had some experience with this. Recently, I'll give you a couple examples. In Joplin, we do own a water system there in Joplin, and during the tornado 5 years ago, we had a lot of our employees that immediately went to Joplin, helped the community, helped restore system pressures in 3 days. Recently, over the holidays, at Christmas time, we had a torrential rainfall, so we had a neighboring water system that their plant was inundated and flooded, so we worked with the National Guard and had them come over to our system and fill their trucks with off of our fire hydrants so they could then fill their tanks and keep the residents in water, and we also had an interconnect that we worked with them on as well. So a lot of talented employees that are close by that are available to assist, as well as the equipment that we have. story to tell on the employee benefits, and they are really world class. Just to go through some of them, we do have an excellent insurance program, medical insurance, and that's managed through Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. So that's a co-insurance program, 80/20, but all preventative care is 100% covered. The prescription plan, all generic drugs are free, so that's through CVS and Caremark, which is the mail order firm. Dental insurance, I think we all know how expensive that can be, so we have a good insurance plan for Aetna on that. Vision plan, eyeglasses, eye exams, contacts. We have a voluntary personal health wellness program if our employees choose to participate in that. A lot of good advice for that. And healthcare flexible spending account. Employees choose at the beginning of the year how much money they want to put into that account. That goes on a preloaded credit card, so they can use that just to pay their insurance deductibles or buy their glasses. Life insurance is through MetLife, and that's at 2.5 times the base salary. I'm sorry, 1.5 times the base salary. We offer disability insurance and an employee stock purchase plan, which is an excellent deal. There's a 10% discount on stock, and the stock is doing excellent these days. We have a 401k savings plan, so that offers up to a 4% match by the company. And then a defined contribution plan, which is an automatic 5.25% that goes into an account on a monthly basis. There's an independent care flex spending account, and again, that's for elder care and child care. Educational assistance program that I mentioned before for those that want to take advantage of going back to school or taking some additional classes, and that offers $5,250 a year for books and for classes. And then we offer a lot of employee discounts. We have a website that the company has, so our employees can go on site for car discounts, rental car discounts, restaurants, movies. So that's, a lot of employees really like that. And just to wrap up, we do have an HR department that is always available to answer any questions about benefits for our employees. So I will now turn it over to Andrew again.
Okay, just going to go over a few things that the process, should you want to move forward with discussions with us. The first thing is we need to understand the drivers that would make it important to you. This isn't about just us wanting to buy a water system. There's got to be a driver where it's a good fit and there's a need that we're meeting for you. Some of those are systems might be that future rate stability. You're facing a lot of improvements and you're going to have to increase rates. You could pass that over to us. Managing increasing dynamic, the complexity of water, wastewater systems, retirement of debt, deliver capital investment. We do have, American Water does, this year is going to do about $1.4 billion worth of improvements across our entire 16 states. So there is the availability for funds somewhere in our company to be able to address needs. You can use the sale of the proceeds to do whatever you want or what's ever important to you in the community, whether it be street or sidewalk improvements, community, library, whatever. Increase your debt capacity, and that if you remove some of the debt, you'd have more capacity to do other things that are maybe higher importance to your constituents. Generate tax revenues to the community, and just general operational improvements. So how does it all work? Rates don't change arbitrarily by the company. Everything goes through a rate case, which is a very long process that is managed by the Missouri Public Service Commission. There's also other advocates. The DNR can get involved. The Office of Public Counsel is basically the consumer's advocate in the process. The PSC conducts audits, and it's a very rigorous process where we have to prove to them what we spent, that the expenses were legitimate, that the capital improvements were made, and they were approved. And the cost of these improvements don't go in rates until the end of the rate process. So we don't do it in advance. We don't bill you in advance for improvements. we have to make the improvements, go through a rate case, and there is a provision that was just stalled a little bit called ISRIS, which is a pipeline investment system that is on hold right now, but generally it's through a rate case that we would go in and make our case and then be awarded a return on our investment. Goals to provide a balanced outcome for customers and the utility. It is one of those systems where we believe you need to invest gradually over time rather than continually put off investments until a later date. And sometime that's going, a lot of utilities are municipal or privately owned. If you continue to defer your investment, it's just going to come back to haunt you. And it is an open and transparent process. There's a lot of briefings, public hearings are held before we go out and do a public, as part of our rate making process. A lot of papers are filed that anybody that wants to look at them has the access to. If you've got the time, that's pretty much. I believe this is our last slide. So if you did want to pursue this either now or somewhere in the future, it isn't a process that happens overnight. It's not something that we can do in a month. Typically, so right now we're on the initial contact part of that timeline. If you asked us to come back, we would come back and work with your folks and do due diligence. We visit your sites, look at whatever public information there is available about how you operate the business. We would then come back and provide that to you. You would evaluate the offer, negotiate a contract. Then there would be a period where public education, where we would, if you wanted to move forward, we had a lot of people, a lot of, say in Arnold, where we would go out door to door and ask for support, educate the people on what it is about. We put out public press announcements. So we would do the public education portion with you in concert. Certainly you would be involved in every step of the way. And then the regulatory approval process. So as you would have to go to a referendum at some point and put it to the vote of the voters. I believe it was class 4. You would have to have 60% of the vote to get it approved. So we would work with you on that whole process. So it is not an overnight kind of thing. Again, we feel like you need to have a need. It's not just doing something on behalf of the company coming in and wanting to bid on it. And if there was a need, we would go through the journey with you and make the case to the public, and ultimately they would decide with the vote. So actually, I think Bradley's got one more slide on Arnold experience. Okay.
Yeah, the Arnold story, it's a really good story. I'm sure you've read a lot about it. There's been a lot of talk about it. Missouri American Water acquired the Arnold wastewater system about a year and a half ago. And the utility, Missouri utility, had a customer count of about, right around 8,000 customers. And we were talking with the city council over a period of months and discovered that they had some real issues. They had some system performance issues, they had combined sewer overflow issues, they had infiltration, I&I issues. Every time it rained, flooded the basements. We're addressing some of those issues right now. They had some future financial challenges. They had some large debt with MSD. They had some debt in some of their community projects. So they utilized some of the financial assistance from us on that in the sale. They had future sewer rate increases they were facing. They hadn't raised rates for quite some time, and they were looking at some rather hefty rate increases. We were able to come in and ease that. We kept rates stable for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then we were just recently going into our first rate increase, which will raise them up to about the promised rate, which was $30 a month. They had some other state and EPA regulatory issues they were facing due to the due to the CSO and I&I issues. So they were looking at future compliance issues, and that's when the light went on, and they just said to themselves, we really want to be in this business as a council. You know, if we really want to address these issues at every meeting, do we want to listen to the complaints on the water, the wastewater side, and the billing and the rate increases, and quite frankly, there's a liability associated with a lot of this. So they really took a good look at whether or not they wanted to stay in the business, and they decided as a whole that they might just turn it over to the experts and get out of the business. Most residents were unaware of existing sewer issues and challenges, so as Andrew mentioned, we worked very closely with city officials and the public. We went out and we worked with the aldermen in their ward and spoke to churches, retirement centers, schools, and educated them on the issues and what some of the solutions to the problems were, and it kind of gave them a really good idea of what the city was embarking on. And we hired an outside contractor known as the Kelly Group, and they came in and gave us some expert advice on how to best communicate these ideas to the people going. So in that sense, it was a real success. The public education campaign originally showed that 31% opposed it, 36% were undecided, and finally, when they went to a vote in November, it got 70% of the vote voted yes. So it was a big win for all the people in Arnold. Some of the solutions that we provided, we mentioned some of the system performance things, and we took the liability off of their shoulders and so forth. But we also eliminated a $5 million, we eliminated some of the future debt that they were going to have to pay to MSD. We also promised to make $5 million in sewer improvements over the next 4 years, and we're currently in the process of doing that. We retained all the Arnold sewer employees to continue to operate the system. None of them got fired. They all stayed on. Those that wanted to stayed. The ones that didn't left. That in itself is a great story. We've got some advocates who would love to come down and speak to you about that if you so desire. They've already offered to come down and talk to you folks about that. So basically, we're delivering reliable customer service, and we're committed to the system investment and compliance in the Arnold area for now and eternity. So again, it was a pleasure to address the board tonight. If you have any questions for us now, we'd be glad to answer them. Or we can converse. You've got my card, so we can converse anytime you like. But it has been a real pleasure, Mayor Haas, and we appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? No? All right, well, I appreciate you all coming this evening. A lot of information taken in one evening, two different causes. So we will get with the city administrator and the city clerk, and we will go through everything, and then we will get in contact with everybody. All right? All right, you guys do not have anything else? Everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
German's really